Hey everybody, welcome to the Arthur Tech Tales, and today we have another of the deep tech interviews. We did a lot of those about lenses and some about the VR hardware, but today we have something special. And someone special. Welcome, Elnar. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing great. Thank you for agreeing to come to this interview and to give us a glimpse into the future of streaming, as what I see. Maybe before we start, can you introduce yourself and say what you do, and then we'll just dive into it.
My name is Elnar. I am a cinematographer, and for the last couple of years, I've been diving deep into immersive media, 3D live streams, 3D records as well. Yeah, just doing a lot of cool stuff.
Fantastic. And how I got to know you, or how I saw your work, is because there was Meta Connect recently, and I was going through Twitter, and then I see this tweet. I have this tweet right in front of me, hanging here in the air, and I see this tweet, and then you're writing like, last year we delivered the first ever rectilinear stereoscopic 3D live stream into the metaverse at 4K 60, which looked at as magical window onto the stage. This year we do it again. Don't miss the Zach's keynote and Horizon World starting at 10 a.m. PC. And I was like, what? That's cool. First of all, people who know me, I'm a pretty big critic of Meta, but I also am always really ready to admit if something is cool, I say that's cool. And the fact that Meta is streaming, or you streaming, you'll tell us more probably, but the fact that you guys were streaming the whole Connect in a stereoscopic 180 into the Horizon worlds is fantastic. I fully applaud. But of course, my nature is like, I want to know, how is it actually done? Like, how did you get to do it? Tell us the story. How, because do you work for Meta, or you also work as the editor for VR Oasis, Mike, right? What do you do?
Well, yeah, Mike hasn't really been releasing a lot of videos lately, so working for him is kind of a stretch. Yeah, I mean, I worked with him as an editor for a couple of years, starting in the middle of the pandemic, um, and that basically got me into just knowing a lot more people in the industry. And at some point, met some people that were looking for someone who knows a thing or two about VR 180, VR 360, all of those kind of formats. And so, started doing little projects here and there in immersive. And that's how I got connected to Radiant Images, which is the company that basically provided all the resources and produced the 3D stereoscopic live stream for Connect last year and this year.
Okay.
The 2D production, was done by Done and Dusted, and we were kind of augmenting, using some of their assets, their streams, augmenting that into our 3D broadcast. So yeah, I was brought in as as a partner basically on this. And we had a whole bunch of other people from all over US
Nice.
also working with us on this live stream. Last year was a lot more challenging because a lot of the technology in 3D, well, first of all, the live streaming in 3D has existed for a while. Problem is, last time it was done was like, around the Olympics 10 years ago. So they were doing it at 1080, 30 frames. Cameras were, very
But
different. All the
where they
gear
were
is very
streaming it
different.
to, who was the consumer of that? Because on one hand, you need devices to consume it with. Who
Right.
was the target audience for that stream long time ago for Olympics, for example? Do you know?
So those streams, I think that was TV. So because 3D TV
Oh,
was
3D
pretty
TV,
popular
right?
back then, right?
Yeah.
And then that was obviously recorded to Blu-rays and all that stuff, and then distributed. There was also the U2 3D.
Yeah.
They did a show, like all that kind of stuff. So that was basically the last time all of this technology has been used. So none of that was updated to modern standards. So we had to last year we had to go through a lot of those challenges and hurdles of, okay, how do we actually make all this gear work with this high resolution, high frame rate setup? And then so we use the beam splitter rigs, which is enormous, huge, mirror based rigs
Hmm.
that, I mean, they're just massive. Those were, they used to, well, they still do. They still shoot with those rigs, like all
So
those
that's
3D
how
movies
you
like
achieve the
Avatar and all that
stereoscopic
stuff.
image. That's how, or
So the the beam splitter is just one of the options, right? And the
hmm.
reason to use the beam splitter is that it allows you, because it uses a mirror system where one camera is shooting through the mirror, through the glass, one camera is reflected
Yeah.
off the glass. You can actually get cameras basically on top of each other,
Oh, that's what I see on your
which
picture, right?
makes,
That's what I see. Two monitors. I mean, I'm hoping that that's what I'm seeing. Like you have two monitors, one above each other. That's what they're representing. That's how you capture it, or
where's that?
yeah. I'm looking at your picture which you posted, where you see the Connect, and then you're standing in front of the camera, and there are two monitors, one
Oh,
above
yeah,
each
yeah.
other. Is that
So, so,
that's
so,
that right?
so that was the beam splitter. The two monitors, one monitor is just giving you the right eye, one monitor is
Gotcha.
giving you the left eye, just to make sure that you actually see the operator sees. I mean, I wasn't operating the actual rig. I was in the broadcast room because we had like five different cameras.
Oh,
So, and
nice.
as a cinematographer, I wasn't the one actually operating. I was, you know, orchestrating the whole thing.
Okay, okay, okay.
um, and so, yeah, but so with beam splitters, you can get the eyes to be really, really close to each other. So you can have the IPD, or how in camera world it's called IO, inner ocular.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can get it as low as zero if you wanted to. So depending on how wide the cameras are spaced out, that makes it more 3D or less 3D. That might make it more comfortable or less comfortable, depending on what you're
And
trying to do.
what
Um,
settings are you guys, if it's not proprietary, what settings are you guys using to make it for people in VR? Because IPD in VR, people have different IPDs and stuff. I'm not sure, like, what do you bring into the actual Horizon, for example?
yeah, so in VR 180 and VR 360, you really want to try to get the IPD as close as possible to human eye, because everything, all the scale is 1 to 1,
So
right?
62, 64,
So
right? Something like that.
right, the difference in rectilinear stereoscopic 3D is that it's a frame, right? So there is no common set IPD, because it depends on what is your distance to the object, what is the
Oh,
framing, what is
right.
the
True,
lensing,
true.
what's the focal length.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on a lot of things. Like how much background and foreground do you have? How deep is that foreground and background? So all of those things affect the viewing experience. And there is some math to it, but a lot of times you use the math to get close enough, to guess what it needs to be. But then once you actually start lining up the shot, you see and you feel what's comfortable and what's not. And one of the ways we're doing it is, I don't know if I have that here, not right here, but so, behind me you can see the little
Yep.
multi-view monitor.
Mm-hmm.
We have a similar monitor which is right outside of this room. That's a Glasses 3 3D monitor,
Mm-hmm.
and so we built a multi-view like this, but with 3D cameras. So I can see all of my 3D cameras all at the same time, fully in 3D, and I can see, okay, this one doesn't look comfortable. This one looks
Oh,
comfortable.
wait
Let's
a
get
second. So
this.
you were operating in the back room wearing the VR headset and looking in the stream in the real time in 3D? Is that what I'm hearing?
So yes, I this year. So last year I did it with. I was basically wearing the VR headset the whole show.
And you were in Horizon Worlds
This
looking at the stream, or you have your own proprietary software to watch
I
the stream?
so I was using virtual desktop
Mm-hmm.
because that's basically the only thing that allows you to do side by side live stream as of now. That's also fully local,
I mean,
because
Guy,
you
if
got
you're
to
watching,
realize
hello.
that
We love you.
Yeah, because you got to realize that we can't really use any cloud-based systems like big screen beta. I don't know why they still call it beta, because we're doing rehearsals for a week, and so obviously we have a lot of information that's not supposed to be out until the actual show. So having a local way of viewing in 3D is very important. Um, so we did have a room. We usually have a test room in Horizon that we can watch. Problem is, last year was like a 30-second delay. This year was like a 10-second delay. Um, either of which, like, if we had to wait for 10 seconds every time we make a change, we would not
Yeah, yeah.
be out of there for like 2 weeks. So yeah, but this year we have a 27-inch Asus. Is it Asus or Acer? The Spatial Labs 3D monitor, the
Oh,
glasses screen
right.
3D
I forgot
monitor.
about those. Yeah,
It made our lives so much easier
I can imagine. Yeah.
because we could always see in 3D without wearing a headset. We could always just glance at it. We can have other people come over, look
Here
at
you
it,
go.
and
And people were wondering, what's the use case for? Like, I have a tablet from Leah, with the 3D tablet,
hmm
which is,
yep, yep,
I call it one of the most mesmerizing things I've seen. I've been in VR for ages, but like that is such an accessible way to show people stereoscopic content. Like my grandparents were mesmerized by that, right? My kids loved it. And monitors are coming in. Like Samsung is probably releasing one soon, and that is great, use case because I will discuss it further. But like live streams will become 3D live streams will become more and more popular in the future. I think that's the ultimate future. That's the end goal. Like full 3D live streams. And people who are working it, I don't think they won't necessarily wearing the headset all the time because it's not practical at some points of time. And that's the use case for the monitors right there. Like you can have
yep,
and you can watch it in 3D. Okay, okay. I didn't
yep.
think about it.
And I can actually share. If I can share a screen,
If
then
I can allow you this, wait.
so this is the multi view that we built, right? So um, this whole thing is in 3D. So you can see that the left side is one side of and this is a record of the actual event. So there's nothing that can't be shared,
Right, right, right. Sure.
um, but yeah, as you can see, our preview window. So left eye, this entire thing is a left eye, and then this entire thing on the right is the right eye. And once you put it in anything that can take a side-by-side image and turn it in 3D, you'll see that each of those cameras is fully 3D, and I can clearly see what's off, what's not off.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if one of the cameras is uncomfortable, then I can talk to my stereographer and have him make the adjustments. Which we also have. We built the system to completely adjust everything live on the fly.
And when you
All
say
the
sorry,
stereoscopic.
when you say we've built a system, so you work in a company which specializes in 3D, or you do all kind of live streams, and your team is doing 3D. What is?
Well, as I mentioned before, I was basically partnered with Radiant Images on this, and I'm almost becoming full time here now because of these. And the what was I going to say?
So I was asking if you
Yeah,
guys created your own proprietary, like if you more specializing on the 3D, or like the companies having a 3D group of people working on 3D live streams, but they do all the other streams as well, right? As I understand.
yeah. The company does a lot of stuff that just has to do, with new technologies and new camera technologies, VR technologies, immersive media, all of that stuff. And
Cool.
so, yeah, like every time we have an idea, we just have to figure out how to do it because no one else is really doing it, and that was part of it. That was part of the reason why we created that solution for like live alignment and all of that stuff.
Nice, nice. I mean, well done because it's definitely I think it's definitely a future. I have no doubt about that. Like I was telling, I don't know, do you what headset do you use most of the time, and what do you use VR in general, regularly or not?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm probably I probably use VR more than all of these people put together.
And what do you play? What do
uh,
you use it for most of the time? Work or leisure?
both both a lot of work, a lot of games. Ever since the PSVR 2 got PC support, I started using PSVR 2 a lot
Hmm.
because I really miss OLED. So, you know, that gave me an ability to play all of my favorite PC VR games with OLED. I did try the Sony VR1 back at CES
Oh
2023.
no, really? Wow.
That
Oh man,
yeah,
you you
that was still just plugged into the wall. It
yes,
just
yes. But whoa, you gotta try it now, because that thing is like,
yeah.
if someone wants the, okay, I'm not doing self advertisement, but yeah, yeah. Yeah, so wow, that cool you came to see us. So that's amazing. And again, I want to really be clear. I really really admire that Meta has partnered with you guys and wanted to do the 3D stereoscopic into their virtual world. Now, I'm not a fan of Meta, nor I'm a fan of Horizon Worlds, but I love that they did it, and I really applaud them for doing that, because this is something which those virtual worlds are built for, right? When people come into those rooms and they
Yeah,
watch those things together, and not in freaking 2D, they watch it in 3D. That's that. Like, this is it. This is the metaverse we all want, at least part of it. In my opinion.
yeah,
So
and it's also a lot more accessible and high quality than VR 180 is. Um, because now I don't have to be all the way on the stage with my camera. I don't have to be in the middle of the audience. Like I can have my all of my cameras really far away. Like this year, we had some of the cameras were 50 feet away, some of the cameras were 90 feet
could
away.
you could you ex-
You can't do that with VR
could
180.
you explain to people who have no idea how the 3D live streaming works, the difference between, like, the VR 180, how it's done, and what are the downsides and upsides of that, and the way how you guys did it? Just to Because the end result for the user, as I understand, is pretty similar, right? Like, you get the very similar result. It's a stereoscopic view. It's a 3D view window into the reality.
Right. Well, it's the difference is that with VR 180, you're putting people in the environment.
Mm-hmm.
With rectilinear stereoscopic 3D, you're giving them a window into the environment, and you can build the rest of the environment around that window. Right?
Yeah.
That doesn't have to be part of the actual live stream. Although we do have technology of taking VR 180 as an environment, but also taking Windows stereoscopic 3D and putting that into the VR 180 environment.
Okay.
So that's also possible. The environment in that case becomes a little, lower resolution,
And that's what I wanted to
lower
say. There,
quality.
there, there is a
Yeah,
there is a positive about that.
it's mainly a camera limitation at this point. Well, it's also a processing limitation on the headset size because we got to the point where we have 12K 360 3D footage that you know it, the only headset that can actually play that back is Vision Pro, and even that really struggles
The fans
depending
will
on what
go
kind
off.
of
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It will be.
yeah. So it's hard to push the resolutions of VR 180 and VR 360 at this point because neither
Yeah, and
cameras
honestly, you
or
don't even
the
need
playback
to.
systems are ready for that.
First of all, you need a good bandwidth of the internet if you want to live stream it,
Hmm.
right? So you need to have really strong
Yep.
connection. Not every headset has actually such a good Wi-Fi in them to be able to, like, digest. But
Yeah.
let's say they do. Then need to have a good resolution of the headset, because it doesn't make sense to stream in 12K if the headset can do 2K per eye. Why, you cannot, it cannot,
Well,
it does make sense and it doesn't, you need to,
yeah. The difference there is that with 360,
you
all
stretch a
that
lot. Yeah,
resolution
of
is
course, of
spread.
course, of
Yeah, it's
course,
spread around.
of course.
And with 12K, with 12K 360, Vision Pro is basically pixel to pixel, because you are getting about you know uh, about a 4K image out of like 110 degree field of view.
Yep.
So 12K is basically pixel to pixel when you account for all the distortion curvatures and all of that stuff. But yeah, for most other headsets, it just nothing above 8K makes
And
sense.
in terms of the distortion profile and all the compensations for that, like, is it all in-house built software by you guys, or you're using something out of shelf and then something you did in-house? Like, how is it the tech stack works? How did you bring it on together, guys?
We don't need to do any of that because that all depends on the headset, and the headset just takes the image because all the formats are already
Gotcha.
the formats already exist.
Gotcha.
All we're doing is we're just streaming in those formats instead of pre-recording and then loading on the headset and then playing it back.
All right.
Which means that live encoding all that at those resolutions is also challenging. And at this point, we have the technology to live encode into MVHEVC at 4K 60 per eye for Vision Pro. That's something we haven't seen anyone do yet. We've seen the VOD style where something is pre-converted and then those files that are created are streamed as if it's a live stream. But it's not coming from a live camera. It's coming from a file that was pre-recorded.
Yeah, I think.
We can do all that live.
Okay, that's awesome. Actually, I think Apple will, of course, do at one point. Apple should do the iPhone live streaming towards something, a spatial video, because they do have it already.
So there's already an app for that. It's called Voodoo Spatial. The Voodoo Spatial has, and funny enough, I actually prototyped an app like that a few months ago, but I just never finished
it. Nice.
Okay. But yeah, it does the same thing. It streams spatial from an iPhone into Voodoo Spatial. Yeah.
Okay, I'll find it and I'll.
And they have a companion app for the Vision Pro to actually play that back. The problem there is it's 1080-30. It's nowhere near the resolutions and frame rates that we require for our work. And even with the new iPhone 16 Pro, it's still, for whatever reason, is limited to 1080-30. You can do higher resolutions with third-party apps, but the bitrate is going much lower. So, yeah.
I mean, I was expecting that they will up the quality of the video for 16 Pro, but they didn't. But I think, look, first of all, I know that the footage from the iPhone, if I recorded with the Vision Pro, doesn't look bad. I mean, it's respectable.
No, it looks fine.
It looks fine, and it's okay for the purpose it's done. The pictures are looking good as well, because now you can take spatial pictures with the new iPhone, which is pretty cool as well. So I think we're getting there.
Which you also could do with third-party apps before. Apple finally actually added the feature.
Yeah, we are geeks, but even us, we have to have the app, and then where do you look at it? If I just take it with my iPhone, then I just sit here and watch through my pictures and videos at home in Vision Pro. It's a totally different level of being, accessible. Let's call it accessible, even though, okay, Vision Pro is $4,000, but still, it's accessible to actually use it.
Yeah.
Finally, I can use it normally. I don't need to geek out to make that one picture which I'll use in spatial and stuff. Okay, cool. Wow. Is it so? You guys did the live stream of Connect. It was a special room in Horizon Worlds built for that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And is the footage available anywhere to watch? Like, can I watch it on Vision Pro? Like, is it possible to watch on Vision Pro? Because I would love to rewatch it on Vision Pro.
You cannot watch it in Vision Pro. I mean, I can because I have the records, but
man.
I can't send that to anyone.
Come on.
So the only way to watch it is in Horizon Worlds, and it ends. They stop the replays in 2 days on Thursday, so they're only replaying it for a week after the show.
Damn it! First of all, we don't have Horizon Worlds in Czech Republic. Second of all, because I'm the Czech Republic guys, they're not released yet here, if I'm not mistaken. Because I honestly didn't check. So what is your saying? Is there anything else from the tech side you'd love to share? If we, for example, as Somnium Space, if we want to do an event for you to stream into Somnium like 3D? Like, what do we do, or like how do we? I mean, we'll probably chat after the interview, but like, how do we go
Yeah,
about that? Because I'd be
I
interested.
mean, you reach out to us. We put together a package, and we go from there. But as far as the actual delivery goes, it's pretty seamless. We're just if you want MVHEVC, we can deliver MVHEVC. If you want full side by side, you can do full side by side, half side by side, over under any kind of format you want. Completely flexible. If a player needs to be developed for that, that's also possible.
Okay, and
Um,
but I think the Unity we should there should be something for that already. But how do you how is it about the bandwidth? How much bandwidth per minute of footage, like that footage, how much data do you transfer per minute to get that quality streamed?
I mean, within within our broadcast system, we're dealing with really high bandwidth, like half a gig, uh, half a gig per second per camera.
Well,
Um, but none of that actually
of
goes
course,
out
of
for
course.
the stream, right? This is just for internal switching and all of that stuff, just keeping the
I
quality
know.
as high as possible until the very end. At the very end, depends on your platform. Like with as I said, we can do true 4K 60 per eye. We can do it in MVHEVC. That would probably be the highest quality that you can get. And generally, we tend to stream at 50 to 80 megabits per second, which is
Okay,
honestly overkill.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Um, yeah, you can go much lower for the actual delivery. Um, the other thing is it can go to the cloud. In the cloud, it can be restreamed at multiple different resolutions and bit rates and whatever else you want to do with it. If you want to stream to other platforms, that's also easy.
Okay, I'm really interested because I think, yeah, I mean, again, I was raving when I got Vision Pro, and I first tried their, because I think their production quality of the videos they provide in terms of 180
Yeah.
VR video is insane. I don't want to say incredible, it's insane. And especially like when I looked at sports, I'm not even a fan of soccer or something, but when I looked at the soccer and all those moments where you have a goal, and you are next to the goalkeeper and stuff, that's intense. And I immediately said, even though I'm not a fan of soccer, I'd pay for, a final of something, some sort of a good game. And I'm a fan of tennis. I'd pay hundreds of euros per game to watch a live stream like that. And just be able to maybe choose the place where to sit next to the court and
Hmm.
what I definitely would pay. You name it. Like, if it's Wimbledon finals, I'd pay $400 just to watch one time in the live stream. Or of course, keep the replay, but I would watch it live for that money because it gives me more than if I would be sitting there. Because I can watch from different angles, I can watch replays, I can have the
Yep.
stats all over me, in Vision Pro and stuff. That I cannot wait. How far away do
And
you think that is from being a reality?
if uh, we can do it today,
Damn
as
it,
long as someone wants to do it, you know what I mean?
Apple, come on!
Uh, like we already have all of that technology. There's nothing we need to develop for that to happen.
That's good to hear.
So
Honestly,
it's
that's
yeah,
reassuring. That's awesome.
yeah, and you can have your VR 180 environment from one of the seats at that match, and then you can have little picture-in-pictures also in 3D.
Absolutely.
You can have a close-up of one player, a close-up of another player. You can have all of your stats fly at you if you want to.
And Apple is the company
All of
which
that
can
is
do it
possible.
because they have the ability to buy the broadcasting rights. They have the money, they have the connections,
Yeah.
they have everything in
Oh,
place.
yeah.
They have already relationships with all of them, actually, to be honest, or with many of them. So for them, it's just going there and saying like we put these cameras here, we pay you this, and then we get the revenue, and probably we split the revenue, and that's it. But wow.
The big challenge is a lot of those shows, including Connect. They already have 2D crew, and integrating with them is what's been the most challenging part of it because we're bigger. We we require more, uh, a bigger infrastructure. We need way more cables than they would need.
Yeah.
For them, it's like each camera will have one run of fiber. For us, each of the positions required 4 to 6 runs of fiber.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about
Because
because we ran Somnium Connect in July in Prague, and we have
yeah,
a company doing
and
all the live streams too. Yeah.
the other thing is because of the size of things. And I mean, again, this year we were much smaller because we went into smaller cameras. We modified the rigs to make them even smaller. We didn't use any beam splitters this year, but we all had to be off site. We couldn't be in the room. We couldn't have operated a single camera ourselves. So all of that
Why?
had to be size because we're already there's 8 cameras from the 2D broadcast.
How many? 80?
Now we're adding 8.
8. Okay, yeah, okay. I
Yeah,
was afraid.
now we're adding 4 more of our rigs, taking up space, taking up seats possibly because last year we took up some seats, and then now we also need to be out of the way of the 2D broadcast so we don't get in their shots. But we also need to be closer because for 3D to work, you really kind of
Yeah, I
want
mean,
to be a little bit closer than
I
them.
fully understand what you're saying because we ran our Connect and I work with a company which is like a great company in Czech Republic. They do a lot of things for Czech, Germany, and Eastern Europe.
Hmm.
They do a lot of TV shows and movies and the live events. And I work with them already for 5 years. And they do amazing job. So we had like I think we had 5 cameras. So we had 3 stills, one crane. I love crane cameras. Crane is not the best. Like we
Hmm.
had the flying crane camera, and then we had one close up for the stage. Um, but damn it, if I knew that the 3D was possible, I would this year I would record. I would contact you and I would record at least one shot of Somnium Connect in 3D. We would live stream it in the Somnium, obviously, but I would record it so that we can replay it later in 3D and make it more.
Well, that's the other thing. If you really want to go all in, like because right now all of those 3D broadcasts, including what Meta is doing, they're being a little careful with it because it's new. They don't want to completely dive into it, so they don't want to get rid of their 2D program, 2D crew, right? But once you go all in, you don't need the 2D crew anymore because all you do is you use one of our eyes. That's it.
Yeah,
You
that's what
don't
I'm
need
saying.
to
Exactly.
do a whole separate
Yeah,
production.
you can do the 2D stream for YouTube, but still be the true 3D for everyone else.
Exactly.
Absolutely, hundred
Exactly.
percent,
Yeah.
100%.
And with us, like we engineered everything in a way that we were like 300 feet away from the location, all of us, camera operators, the ACs, pulling
Wait, so the
focus,
cameras are like automatically
zoom
panning, or
iris.
like how do you get
Everything is on remote heads.
unbelievable? What? Wow.
The camera, so operating the cameras, operating the zoom focus and iris, stereo alignment, convergence, camera shading, so like color grading on the fly. All of that was completely remote. We were in a completely different room,
This is
completely
this is
off site.
this is
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah.
It
Everything
sounds
over
like an
fiber.
overkill to be honest. Like because like for you it would be easier to just be there, obviously, but it's good that you have this ability now that you can just place things there and just go away and do it remote.
Yeah, a lot of those things we can do over internet too. We've done because the other thing we're doing is we capture high resolution 360 plates for virtual production to use on the large LED volumes. Um, and the way I've engineered that system is I don't even have to be on set at all. Like I can send the AC with the whole rig, and it's 7 red cameras in an array. Um, send them to whatever location they're shooting at, and we have Starlink capabilities in the car, 5G. So I'm controlling the cameras and controlling records, doing everything completely remotely over internet. even if I'm right next to them.
My mind is now working, okay? Because I'm okay. So I don't know if you're able to answer this question. I'm interested as as a CEO of Somnium Space now. I'm selfishly interested in having a 3D broadcast for the next Somnium Connect, like next year probably. But what how much more expensive is this in comparison to the 2D broadcast crew, or is the same? Like what are the differences in the costs?
So it can be the same. It can be more expensive. It can be way cheaper. As an example, um, each of the cameras the that were used on the Meta Connect for the 2D broadcast, each of the cameras itself with the lens is like $750,000.
Oops.
Um, that's 2D. The way we did it, we're, I don't know, 20, 30, 50 times cheaper. So it's like it's way more scalable. Um, and depending on what you need, it can be really cheap, it can be really expensive. There's yeah, there's a lot of room
I'm
there.
impressed. And do you guys do mainly like US or you travel abroad or how do you?
We haven't done any live streams abroad, but we're completely open to it. I mean, we've done other work abroad.
Hmm.
It's just the 3D live streams haven't been done overseas
And
yet.
and since you guys doing 3D live streams, obviously you did Meta. What other events are you guys doing or maybe recording so that we as normal users could look forward to at some point in time in the future? Like, do you know what Apple is doing? Like, I think someone has to be recording those, maybe you guys or maybe someone else is recording those, 180 amazing videos they're doing in the sports and nature and stuff. Like, do you know what's coming? Do you have an idea what's coming? What do you expect to happen next year in this space of real videos, 180, 3D?
What I do see is that the space is just kind of waking up now
Mm-hmm.
because again, it's been 10 years since the last 3D boom. And hopefully that's going to keep growing. Hopefully it's not going to be just another, 3D TV situation. But
No,
you
I
know,
don't. I cannot imagine honestly. Like, I mean, even just look if not forget about all the other headsets, but if I would just say about Vision Pro, obviously Vision Pro is not going anywhere. They'll do a new one, but I think
yep.
Apple alone will be pushing this as much as they can, and others will just be happy. They'll have to follow. It's just my opinion. I'm just saying that this is kind of how I
Yeah,
see.
I mean, right now, Apple is the leader of produced content. Meta is the leader of the live content because I mean they've been doing VR 180 live streams for a while. It's just now they're getting into these rectilinear stereoscopic live streams because they're higher quality, they're more flexible. You can do more with this, and a lot of times they can be cheaper than doing the VR 180 stuff because VR 180 has you know, um, a lot of posts is required to make it look good. Um, so between those two companies and hopefully others jumping in soon,
What?
it's going to be an interesting space to be in.
Okay, let's do some spicy takes. What's your take on Meta versus Apple? Like what by the way, you've been on the Connect, right? What do you think about Connect? Like how from your point of view, how did it go? What did you like, what you didn't like? If you may talk
I
about this,
think
by the way.
this,
I don't want to put you into
yeah,
a tough
no,
spot.
everything went great. I think this connect was a really good connect. They announced a lot of things that people were asking for. I think there hasn't been like this year that they went with less major things and more just things people were asking for, like camera pass-through API, that kind of stuff. Just bit larger play spaces up to 15 rooms now. Like those kind of little improvements that are really making the platform even more mature, even though it's really, as of now, probably the most mature platform out there. Um, Vision Pro, I mean, Apple is doing a lot of really interesting things, but then at the same time, they're overlooking a lot of things that I'm like, just doesn't make sense to me. Like, for example, there's still no way to play just regular 360 content on the Vision Pro outside of a couple of third-party apps. how is QuickTime Immersive or QuickTime Spatial still not a thing? Like, you know what I mean? The first day we got the Vision Pro, we were like, okay, let's watch all of our high resolution 12K stuff on it, and then we're like, but how? There's no way. So
It's
things
Apple.
like that are
It's
just
Apple, you know.
it.
But I think
It's just mind-boggling.
it's my mode. But I think Apple is. I'm thinking about it a lot in the last month in general, and I was telling it on our podcast recently that I bought the original Macintosh like 1985,
Hmm.
um and I turned it on. It's sort of working. I loaded. I have the floppy disks. Amazing, my machine, by the way. Yeah, and I turned it on, and I was greeted with macOS 1.0, right? And the what struck me, because I was the user who started with Windows, basically 95. I had the ones before, but like 95 what was my main
Yep.
Windows where I
Yep.
started.
Same.
And I never realized that basically the foundation of all that, what we saw in Windows, was created by Apple and Mac and of Xerox PARC, and then they took it and they put it into the people's hands. What I want to say is, like, the macOS 1.0, it has still the same principles as macOS I'm using today. Like, it's the, I
Yeah.
was right at home, everything was as I expected, actually pretty smooth, and everything was fine. And I think that's what Apple is doing with Vision OS. I think they nailed the general fundamentals. They really, really nailed the spatial way, like what I'm doing right now, right? I'm talking to you, here are windows, I see the shadows, like all those small things, my arms are perfectly occluded with the image. I see my Apple Watch in this, like all those small things, but they're not small things, right? How do I look with the windows, how I interact, pitch and zoom, and things like that. Like, these things will lay down the foundation for the next 30, 50 years of spatial computing. And I think Apple knows their use case. Like, they don't care about games. Honestly, they just don't give a damn.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. They shouldn't. It's
exactly,
not their
they're
space.
a productivity device, right? They want people to work
Yeah.
in it, and there's no better device to work in than Vision Pro. Like, there's not even close. Nothing is even remotely close, in my opinion. It's just that good. So yeah, I think Apple is doing Apple thing, and they are kind of just going forward in their own direction. How they see things, and they will bring things when they think, they're not ideal, but they're, I think, for that device, they're doing quite a good job.
No. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. It's just amazing that they release a device that is so focused on not only productivity but media
Media,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
But then also don't give you a way to actually play back your own media.
I guess
You know what I
because
mean?
I
That's
guess
what
because they
was
know that
very.
there's not so many. Again, this might be a guess. I don't know why they didn't do it, but I think it's because they know that there's not so many people who'll be playing 12K 360 videos, but there's a lot of people who want to watch Spider-Man in 3D, and that's what they kind of focus on in re-encoding the movies and delivering you great
Yeah.
experience, because that works extremely well. Like, I don't want to go to IMAX anymore. We have a great IMAX in Prague, but I'm not interested, honestly. I have my own
Oh no.
IMAX here.
Yeah. It's way better.
Exactly, it's way better, and that's what matters, right? Because I'm paying money for those movies. Actually, I'm buying some movies and I'm watching, so they're making money already. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Interesting. So you cannot send us the file to watch the 3D Meta Connect, right? Damn it,
No.
man. Damn it. What's going on? What's going on? Oh, one question. Like, I don't know if you know, or because you were rehearsing, guys. They were rehearsing probably for several days before. What I was surprised, especially after like Snap CEO, Evan did a live
Hmm.
demo of his glasses. I'm always, I myself as a CEO, I always try to do live demo of my product, even with the risk that something will go wrong. I don't care, I would rather fail at doing it live than not doing it at all, and that's my kind of mantra.
Right.
Why do you think Zach didn't demo Orion in real time? Because he could, and I think he should have, but he didn't, and that kind of baffled me. I was not a fan of that move. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they just decided to focus more on the feedback that I mean, there's a reason they played that video with all of those people reacting to it. I think they just focused less on the functionality of it and more on the
The wow
what
effect.
people actually feel, the wow effect. Could be the right choice, could be the wrong choice.
Zach, man, if you're watching, come on, you can do it, man. Well, if you...
I mean, I guess at the same time, when it's something that is touted to be as revolutionary as the Orion is, which until we see it ourselves, it's hard to tell if it's revolutionary or not. But when media talks about it that much, it is a big moment for them. So kind of screwing it up, will probably not look
the stakes are
on
high.
Meta.
The stakes are high, but
Yeah. So I think that's part of the reason.
Sure,
why
but if you're playing the high stakes, you need to be ready to take the high bets. You know what I mean? It's. I think that's, you need to, and I think Zach is kind of the guy who is ready to take high bets generally. So I was surprised him not, like, especially after they put it with like handcuffed guy with the case. I was like, okay, now he'll put it on and it will be mesmerized, and then he just take it, and I'm like, hey, Zach, take it on, man, like, turn it on. You cannot just do this and then not do the live demo. So I was a little bit
I mean, sure, but also Tim Cook didn't demo the Vision Pro live either.
Yeah, but Apple never does now. They just don't do it anymore. Like, it was Steve Jobs, but Steve Jobs did, and I guarantee you, Steve Jobs would do the whole live demo. He would have done it, he would have completely make the Vision Pro dead on that stage.
But I'm just saying that those are the two biggest companies that are in this space, and they both didn't do it. So it's shareholders, stocks, all of that stuff. They don't want that to be affected, so probably just being careful.
All right. Listen,
it's kind of better than what Immersive was doing.
Can we not please talk about that company here? Like, I don't want to spoil this interview with that thing. Like,
no, but I tried it. I tried it right after Connect the next day.
Oh no! Okay. Then let's talk. Okay. If we let's talk about it, because you tell me how did it feel, and I'll tell you how I feel, and you tell me if I'm completely off or not. But you start.
It's just not ready, and it's not going to be ready for the next few months at least.
Or more. I think
the panels look good, but everything else doesn't. Nothing really works. I mean, because it was in this just little coffee shop, and I'm sure you might have seen some of the feedback on Twitter from that specific demo time where it was overheating every like 2 minutes,
of course,
and the frame rate was dropping to like two frames per second, and they were cooling it with a frappuccino.
Listen,
it was amazing.
I kind of. So how to be nice? I'm just trying to find words to be nice. I think in terms of the immersive situation, I as someone who is building the headset myself, I first of all don't like when the company uses deceptive marketing and then takes full money for pre-orders and goes really aggressive on that, plus distributing affiliate links among influencers to even more double down on pre-orders without having even shown a real product but only shown renders. That to me is a no-go, by the way, right away. I'm just saying stop. This is dismissive. The second part is all their marketing was super, I don't know how, like, scammy. I don't know how to name it, like, not scammy, but like it was very, very strange.
I mean, it was
scammy, right? So that's the second part, and the third part is, I, as someone who builds hardware, basically what they're showing, in my opinion, I might be wrong, but I believe in what I think. He's showing you a reference design of Qualcomm glasses with the reference design of the few screens, which are, by the way, big question if even the line which produces those screens is in a full swing, which I think it's not, based on my information I know from the suppliers, and we talk to suppliers of the screens. Those screens alone could cost more than the whole price they're charging for the whole headset plus the subscription. Like, just 2 screens will cost more. So them saying we'll deliver, if they will deliver to 500 customers and they will take a huge loss on that. It doesn't mean anything. And I don't know what they're trying to do. If they're trying to attract investors with this thing, that this is the whole investor game, or like what but the customers are the ultimate people who will be suffering from that, and that's what pisses me off, like
Yeah.
really pisses me off.
After meeting them, after seeing how they talk about the product, I don't think they're trying. Like, I don't think their goal is to scam people out of their money.
I hope so.
But the
I hope
problem
it's not.
is,
I hope it's not for
but
sure.
the problem is how I think it was Ian Hamilton, because he was demoing right before me.
Hmm.
Uh, the one thing he said is that, well, if you don't deliver, that's still a scam. Like, if you charge people money and you don't actually ship the product, you're still scamming people out
Of
of the money.
course, of
And
course.
so at this point, I'm like, I don't know if, like, I think they're going to ship it at some point. I think it's going to be a pretty underwhelming experience, because what they're trying to do is going to cost them a lot more money than they probably have. And then the biggest problem is that by the time they release, I think it's going to be too late. I think there's going to be a lot larger competition for this type of tech, and no one's just going to buy them.
Knowing, because
Um,
we build hardware and I build VR headset, so knowing how
yeah,
much it takes from going from first of all, how much time it takes to go from just a prototype, what they're showing, because we had, like,
yeah,
you've seen our prototype in CES. What was that,
yeah,
2023? We have end of 2024 right now, and now we're actually, the factory is running and we're going to be shipping soon next week. So that is something, how long it takes, and we were going full
yeah,
speed and we're not limited by money. So, but the risk here is the biggest risk, and that's like with every Kickstarter. You take money, you overshoot, which they clearly did, and then
oh,
you don't
very
have
clearly,
money to deliver and start production, because they are not even anywhere near to start serial production. They are now
no,
prototyping, and prototyping costs one thing. This
yeah,
is R&D, but then you need to pay so much money to the factory to actually all the components and stuff. We started to buy the mass manufacturing components for our headset 1.5 year, almost 2 years before we actually started manufacturing them. We had to put a lot of
yeah,
money up front. That's tons of money, and I don't think they did it, by the way. So that's kind of, again, this is my guess, and Ian is correct. And even if you deliver something which is only 20% of what you promised, you scammed, you failed. Like, you literally failed. You need to
yeah,
deliver exactly what you promised, or super close. It could be margin plus minus 10%. Everybody can understand that. But if you deliver 15% of what you promised, that is a no-go to me. Like, this is just, should not be
yeah.
allowed. And people, I'm
I'm,
sometimes very angry on influencers. I'm sorry, influencers. I know you hate me for that, but I'm angry for them not being more aggressive on them. Like, when when they
oh,
do,
they should be.
they should be.
Yeah,
They
they
have
should
to
be.
be. They're the voice of people. The people are spending their money because they're watching their videos and they're clicking on their affiliate links. I said to all the influencers who put the affiliate links in, I said, you should be ashamed, and you should be taking that money which you earned from Immersed, and you should be donating into the charity. Like, that's what I would do if I'd be an influencer and for some reason I would use the affiliate link. I would say, like, you know what, I earned several thousand bucks. Here is the charity. Sorry guys, I don't want to take profit from that. I'll wait what happens. That, in my opinion, that should have been happening. Sorry, I'm so passionate because I'm the one, I'm also a startup, right? And the problem is, if Immerse will not deliver, it will affect us as smaller companies, because the
Oh,
users
yeah,
will not
yeah,
trust
yeah, yeah,
companies like us anymore. They will tell, oh, Deca Gear didn't deliver, Immerse didn't deliver. Why would Somnium deliver? Like, why do you think Somnium
yeah.
deserves the credit? Like, of course, I can understand their logic. It's a very firm logic. So that's why I'm so passionate about it, because it affects us directly, even though
Yeah.
people think it doesn't. So yeah, hopefully they deliver,
No,
but
I
not
I
this
I
year.
agree with you.
Probably far away. It's
Well, no, they already said it's not going to be this year. So one of the confusing things that they did is, well, another confusing thing that they did is the founders edition that they're shipping within the next couple of weeks. So apparently that's just a beta run. But nowhere in any of the materials do they say that. And at that demo, they kept saying, "Yeah, it's a beta run, beta run, beta run." And I'm like, "Well, you guys should tell people that, because they're paying full price for the beta run, and your real run isn't until 6 months from now at least. So
It's such a pity. I honestly I don't even have words for that. Like I don't think XR industry as I don't want to say it's weak, but it's not mature yet. It's like a little shaky. We're still
yeah.
we don't need these examples. We need success stories. We need someone who promised delivered. It could be a good product, but we need good stories. And
Like a stereoscopic 3D live stream.
Absolutely, that is an amazing segue, and I fully agree. No, listen, this what you've done. I'm so happy that I reached out, and I'm so glad and thankful to you that you came back. We'll definitely be in touch because I'm super interested. I want to have 3D videos in Somnium, whether it's live stream or whether it's playback videos and stuff, because where else than in VR you will want to watch this kind of content? Freaking hell, that's why VR exists.
Exactly.
We want to be immersed.
Exactly.
Plus watching an immersive content. So yeah, thank you for doing it. And so you what's your plan in general? What do you want to do next? Where are you? What is your vision? How you personally want to evolve? And
I'm gonna keep working on this system because there's still a lot of things that we can streamline. There's still a lot of things that can make the whole system smaller, cheaper, more scalable. Because right now it still requires like 10 to 12 people to run. And just pay attention to other things that are happening and pay attention to what else people are not doing and figuring out what can I do to make that happen.
All right, that's an amazing closing statement here. So, Elnar, thank you very much. It was my pleasure. I'll definitely
Likewise.
Invite you back to. This was one kind of deep dive into the tech, but we have Pixel Slave podcast where we rant about things, non-scripted. So you're always welcome to come. We do it every week, and it's a lot of fun. So I'll definitely invite you on one of those sometime soon. And thank you for doing the 3D stream MetaConnect. I'm still hopeful that someday you will send us the footage. We want to see it in Vision Pro. I'm not a big user of Quest, sorry, but I still want to see it. I want to see Zuck in 3D.
Yeah.
Come on, I want to see it. Anyway, we'll finish here, and I'll link. You'll send me some links. I'll link maybe link of the company, your profile below this video, so people can find your work. And we see each other in the next video. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sounds good.
And goodbye, everybody.